All right, hey guys, what's going on? I'm here with Reese Delk. You've probably seen some of his videos and stuff. I'm glad you reached out to me. I've been actually looking for you. I didn't know what your name. I've just seen your videos here and there, and finally, I don't know we connected. So I'm glad that we're in. I'm interviewing you. You're doing the Blacker Than Doubt series. I'm really excited.
Right.
So first questions first. Have you always been on the Democratic plantation, and when did you decide to leave the Democratic plantation? If you,
Okay. I've been on a Democratic plantation. I have been on a Democratic plantation, and I left the Democratic plantation 2 years ago. It took me years to wake up. Even myself in my 40s. Now, it took me to get in my 40s to wake up. I was always told Democrats are for poor people.
yeah.
Republicans are for the real, what I'm saying, the rich people, conservatives. And I believed it. I looked around, I seen I was shooting in the hood, and I finally woke up when Trump was running for president.
Did you vote for him?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I voted. I voted
Well,
for him.
I just because I don't know if you know my story, just briefly, because I've said it for the listeners on this channel, but I didn't vote for him. It's not until after. I didn't vote for Hillary either. Just
Okay.
to be clear, I didn't vote because I'm really also aware of the left right paradigm. But after the election and he won, and I kept seeing. First of all, the thing that really made me look at people sideways was the fact when people were saying that he was a racist, and I was like,
Yeah.
so you mean all these rappers in the '90s had no idea he he was partying with him, and they're just finding this out now, you
Yeah.
know? I didn't. I was like, "What? That's insane! I don't believe that." So I already was, knew about how much the media lied. So
Yep.
long story short, I started doing some digging, and I was like, "Oh, this is
Hmm.
crazy." The first time too, because I know the media does stuff by having blackout lies, by having blackouts, by not being, fully disclosed with their information, by only reporting half truths. But this is the first time too
Yep.
that I've ever seen the media just make stuff up, like
Right.
make stuff up. So it was just
Yeah.
freaky to me, you know. And this is how I think they've been successful with brainwashing half the people in this country,
Hmm.
because they're people that just they trust the media, and
Yep.
they gain their trust, just like, they have this appeal to authority, so they're not going to question it, and they're like, well, if Anderson Cooper says it's true, then it must be true.
Yes. Hey, really, y'all? Wake up, y'all. Wake up. Get your head off the clouds.
So was it just this election that made you kind of like be like, oh my god, really? What was the
Yes,
defining
yes.
moment then?
I remember some stuff that I was going through at work, and I was seeing one of my good friends. He was getting suspended from saying offensive things, and I mean, it was some true stuff that he was saying at work, and they was really getting butthurt about everything at my job. And he come to me. I said, you know what? I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of all this political correctness stuff, man. I'm tired of this, man. For real. I'm getting for some reason I'm getting more fed up with it more than ever. And then I was half asleep one day, and I looked like this. I was half asleep, and then I was watching TV, and I fell asleep. All of a sudden, I woke up and I seen Trump on there. He said, "Frankly, we have no time to be politically correct. We have no time." And I look like, "Hold on, this is what I'm talking about. Let me see what this dude talking about." And I'm looking at him, I'm laughing at everything he said. Dude, you right, man. You right. I said to myself, I asked my pop, my pops. I said, "Pops, rest in peace." I said, "Pops, um, do you like Donald Trump?" I thought he was gonna be like, no, I don't like. Because I hear people say he's racist. He said, "Man, I like Donald Trump." I'm like, "What?" And I started looking at him, right? And I started looking at him like, wow. And so I looked at him again the next day, and I started looking at how he was saying build the wall, how say how you want to put America first, and how he want to make America rich again. I mean, it was some common sense stuff. He wasn't talking like a
Yeah,
politician. I remember
yeah.
years ago when Obama, I voted for Obama the first time. Then after that, I said I'll never vote again because he disappointed me. I said
Oh,
I'll never.
totally. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Sorry. Go ahead.
right after he, what I'm saying. I said that. I said next time I vote for somebody, he's gonna have to be a real dude. He's gonna have to be a gangster in office. I'm sorry, we
Yeah,
need a gangster in this office.
yeah,
And
totally.
boom, look what happened. We got a gangster in his office.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Somebody just sent me. Have you seen that video where it was like a parody of him says, "I go hard,
Yeah.
I go hard, I go hard." It's like, no, that's great. Yeah, I really the PC stuff really bothers me. Plus, I like comedy, so I don't think there could be good comedy if you're PC. Like it just doesn't exist.
Yes.
And
Oh.
speaking of, like, I talked to you when we were confirming the interview last night. I was talking about the Roseanne thing. Man,
Mm.
I was livid. I was livid. What are your thoughts on
Ooh.
that? What are your thoughts on
I.
that?
Ooh. There's a lot of thoughts I have on this one. First of all, y'all, listen, everybody. I stand with Roseanne. I stand with Roseanne. Yes, she should have been more wise and mindful, whatever, in other people's jobs and stuff. Like whatever. She's a comedian, and she said something. She had no filter. She said something, and you know, I feel like it was all a setup. That's how I feel because they sit there and looked at Roseanne. They've been waiting for it because there's a lot of us Trump supporters support Roseanne,
Yeah.
and believe it or not, it's a political agenda for them.
Exactly.
It's pure political correctness. So that's what they're trying to do. So they're trying to censor everybody. But Roseanne, she owes nobody an apology.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not saying that was right what she did, but she owes nobody an apology. She said it. She just got caught. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not.
everybody said something.
You know
I
what?
said racist thing before.
But yeah, everybody said racist stuff. I've said stuff about
Yes,
all kind of people, jokingly, and even maybe out of
yes,
anger, because that's just like a human thing. People are
right.
like, oh, damn those people, and you're like, oh. And then you think about it later, like, oh, yeah, that was kind of racist. But even if she
Yeah,
tweeted something, to me, that lady looks like a monkey. Like, I don't care. It was funny. I wasn't offended. And there are black people. I don't spend that much time on Facebook. I'm moving away from it. I only really use it as a tool to stay in touch with people now that are far away from me. But
hmm
I was scrolling, and my friend's husband made this big post about, like, why does Roseanne, I really like that show, and why does she have to open her big mouth? And I'm like, don't you think the bigger picture here is that ABC canceled their #1 show? Like, that's
yes,
bringing the money, that they're putting other people out of jobs, okay? Like, not only are
uh-huh.
the actors out of jobs, but there's
Yeah,
cameramen and
yeah,
editors and caterers and wardrobe people and makeup and
yeah,
hairstylists and everything that it takes to run a weekly show. A whole lot of people are out of jobs.
yeah,
So
right.
why are they, like, they're not, honestly their biggest concern isn't about money or advertisement. They have a large agenda here. And it was really shocking because my friend's husband is a comedian. He was a comedian,
Yeah,
and he wasn't a
okay.
bad comedian. I saw some of his comedy when he was younger, and I thought it was cute. I laughed. So for
hmm
him to be like, making excuses, and I'm just like, hey guys, remember comedy? Remember? It's
Yeah,
like,
remember?
and Roseanne is a smart mouth, so I'm not surprised that she said something like that. But
Yes,
it's not like the worst thing in the world. And she looked like the old school, like, Planet of the Apes monkey, like the
yeah,
1960 Charleston Heston. Because I didn't even know who this lady is. I looked her up, but her eyes, she's like stretched like this. You know what I mean? Like her
yeah,
face, and she probably looks like that because it looks like she's had some plastic surgery done.
yep.
So,
hmm
like, she doesn't even. But anyway, like, I'm digressing. Um, I was livid, and I had to, like, get off that thread because I was about to, like, curse some people out just because I couldn't
Yeah,
believe how stupid people were and how,
yep,
like what do you call that, like, cucked people were. And
yep.
I had to, like, leave the thread, and I had to turn off the notifications because I
Mm-hmm.
was about to, like, go off, like, in a major way. And I'm just like, I can't. I kind of did. And then I said, I can't.
Maybe they needed that.
Well, I mean, like, but the thing is, you keep going back and forth. Like, I'm really trying to be more valuable with my time and what I spend my time on. And when I would get into Facebook fights like that, like, it would suck me up emotionally, and
It
it would
do.
suck my time up. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to change their mind. Maybe there's some people that agree with me. Maybe there's some people. It does kind of help because some people do read the comments. They don't comment. But believing me, there are other people that are reading that thread and having their
Yeah.
thoughts, and maybe they don't want to comment. But they're thinking about stuff that was said on that thread. But I told them, last thing I said, I was like, I can't wait to vote for Trump in 2020. This is why, um, people are turning away from the left because of this crazy shit. And I was just
Yeah.
like, can't believe how gormless and gullible people are. And
Right.
it's just to be offended, even if you want to say that was a racist tweet, to be offended by that is just such a weak-minded way of thinking. It's like,
Yes.
remember Sticks and Stones people? Remember that?
Yeah. Remember?
grown people. Remember that? Like
Grown people.
their development is arrested. I couldn't. Like,
Yeah.
I was so livid. Sorry. I'll probably make a video about that.
Yeah.
I have a lot to say about that. Oh, you know what though too? I think the Soros comments. Do you know she called out? I think that's really why they canned her, because she before that she talked about George Soros and she called him a Nazi collaborator. Because I think Hillary Clinton's daughter chose,
Exposing the globalists. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. What is that quote by Voltaire? To learn who rules over you, find out who you cannot criticize. Bam, that's it. You know.
Listen, y'all.
You know, so I think really that had more significance, but they needed a scapegoat, so they used that. And then it's so funny because the Valerie later, the lady, she, like, the next day, they're like, oh, Valerie Jarrett responds to Roseanne's comments, and it said in quotes, "I'm fine," and I'm like, yeah, she's fine because she didn't have her career ripped from under her for, like, you know, expressing her freedom of speech. You know. So I shouldn't be surprised. You know, I should know this is how, this has been going on for over a year, this hypocrisy, because I've been called worse stuff by other black people for saying that support Trump. And then yet those are the first people to get offended over somebody else being compared to a monkey, not even them. So, I can't even, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I shouldn't be surprised. I should know this how it goes, but I just can't. I think the thing that's making me mad is there are people that are just buying into this and being like, oh, you know, Roseanne shouldn't have said anything. It's all her fault. And I'm like, you guys are stupid. Like, I can't believe how dumb you are.
It's good to see more black people that's waking up. I'm so glad that brings a smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's good to see white people. I'm not just saying black. I'm race based.
That was so racist. This interview's over. No, I'm just kidding.
It's good to see more black people that's waking up. You know, that it's like, wow. But it's a lot of blacks that are undercover and won't say it. I had blacks came to me and said, I voted for Trump. Don't tell nobody. I just don't want to tell my family. And follow up with my family.
Isn't that crazy though? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. I had a guy to message me. Like, I didn't, but he said he was a professor at Howard University, and said that he agreed with me. And I asked if I can interview him, and he didn't want to, like, show his face. He's scared of his own students. Yeah. I'm hoping that he'll, like, change his mind, because I really, if you're listening, dude, like, whoever you are, I would love to interview you. I would even interview you without, you don't have to show your face, and I can give you, like, a code name. I don't know if I can change your voice, but I interviewed another guy like that. He didn't want to show his face, so I interviewed him that way. He was a student. He was a psychology student. And I had to pull the interview for a short time because his classmate found out that he was speaking out about this stuff and threatened to tell the professors, and said that she didn't think that he was qualified to be an effective psychologist. Isn't that crazy? That's some Gestapo stuff right there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was able, after he graduated, he just asked me to pull it because he didn't want any drama. So he graduated, and now he gave me the permission to re-air it. If you guys are listening, it says a conversation with Mr. T, not the actor, if you guys want to listen to that interview. But yeah. Anyway, I hear my mom yelling at me because I'm talking too much. That's her biggest, she's always saying that.
Man, this is interesting what you saying. I'm glad you woke up. I'm glad that you woke up. You know, when I see that, it encourages me. It teaches me a lot when I see more people wake up that have woken up. Like, wow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I'm glad. Yeah, no, I'm glad to see other people having channels, all races, you know. I just think...
all races.
I don't know. It's weird because I feel a little bit hypocritical because I don't want to say that I'm into identity politics, but I think at this point, too, that I think it inspire other black people to see other black people talking and having conversations. So, and then I also extended it, there are a couple of, like, to Latino people and other people too who are just kind of boxed in, because I know that they go through the same thing. You know, they're kind of in the same boat as well.
Yes.
So,
I've seen it. I heard it. I mean, I even had some white Trump supporter came to me. I'm a Trump supporter, but I ain't telling nobody. I mean, people have come to me. I got people in my family don't even talk to me because I support Trump
oh yeah, me
because of what
too.
I'm doing.
Me too. This is yeah. It's just to say I'm never
So
like how do people in your family not that known you for years not like talk to you and
yeah,
listen to your side of it before they make a judgment to just write you off? You know,
right.
it's really hurtful, but it's also very like bizarre and creepy, and very demented.
Mm.
Because honestly, the people that voted for Hillary and stuff in my family, I wasn't even thinking about like turning them off. You know what I mean? I understand that people
Right.
have different. They vote according to their own kind of personal perspectives, and I know that
Yeah.
the media lies, and I wasn't really holding that over them, and but they're people that I don't know. They just flipped out.
Flipped out, but we don't care about their views. Like myself, I had a Hillary supporter come to my house and did a one-on-one interview with me. He was a white liberal, and we just had a friendly debate, friendly talk, and that was it. It was like a whole hour. I shook his hand. He was gone. I wanted to hear what he had to say.
Yeah, that's. I mean, what was his reasoning for voting for her? Do you think he ever looked into her corrupt past? Because I think that's an issue where a lot of people still support her, that they
He
just
wasn't
they
making
just
sense.
haven't bothered to look into. They think we're all making it up, huh?
He wasn't making sense. I even told him that he was not making no sense. He wasn't making no sense at all.
You
He
know,
wasn't making.
no, it's true. I think it's also like a human condition of the ego, because a
Yep.
lot of people's
Absolutely.
ego would not
Hmm.
allow that, like they don't want to admit that they were wrong. Like for me, I kind of had a bit of an ego death in that area because of Obama. And it took me a while to be like, all right, I voted for him because he was really hot and he was black. You know what I mean? Like I wanted a
Yeah,
handsome
yeah,
black
yeah.
man for president. I couldn't say that at the time, and I don't, but I was trying to find all the excuses I could make um, to justify
Hmm.
why I would vote for him, and
Yes.
uh, and yeah, so but a lot of people, I think waking up is also has to do a lot with your personal journey, your personal confidence. It's a war. I think it is a spiritual war, but it's really like inside of the of the person, you know.
Yep.
So
Yes, yes. Yeah, I remember when I voted for Obama, people asked me why did I vote for Obama, and I said I voted for Obama because he was black. You know what I'm saying? Not just because he was black, because I thought it was going to be changed, the end of racism and the
yeah,
end
yeah,
of
yeah, me too. Yeah.
slavery, and it's changed. And I was like Martin Luther King finally got his dream,
Yeah.
but he turned it into a nightmare.
Well, you know what? I was interviewing another guy. I think it was Magnificent's interview. If you don't know, yes, you should check out. He's really good. Another YouTuber.
Okay.
But we were talking about that, and I feel like I think it was kind of a good thing, just because I think image wise, I think it was a good thing for Black people to see that they can achieve that, you know.
Yeah.
But and I also needed it to realize that just because somebody looks like you doesn't mean they have their best interest, your best interest in mind. And just
Hmm.
because somebody doesn't look like you doesn't mean that they don't. And I think that's one of the
Hmm.
biggest things that I got, because and I think in order for me to understand that, I needed to vote for somebody that I thought would have my best interest because they look like me, and then be
Yeah.
like crushed. You know, it's like when you're dating people and you
Yeah.
go through a bunch of bad people to realize before you know who the good people are for you. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, that is so true.
You know, it's like that. You know, it's crazy. You were telling me
Yeah.
that. Tell me, we were kind of talking before we started recording. You were telling me about um, what were you telling me about? You were telling me about you work at a grocery store. So
Yes.
tell them about your experience about wearing your shirts and all that stuff.
Oh. It was before the election, and they told us we can. I had a Trump shirt on at first, and they said you can't wear no political. So one of the union reps on there, I said, "Where's it at?" I saw it in the menu. Said, "Okay," and so I put my apron on it. And what happened is I wore a "Make America Great Again" hat, no political. It doesn't say political. It doesn't say Trump on it. It says "Make America Great Again." I want to make America great again. What's wrong with it? And so a customer complained. Employees start complaining, like he got "Make America Great Again," and then all of a sudden the manager put me aside. I said, "This, well, you can wear it. Well, it's not in the manual." I said, "They got Black Lives Matter, so why can't I wear mine?" And
Yeah.
then they emailed the owner of the store. The owner of the store, she decided to say, "You know what? No slogans. No, we are strong together. We are make America great again. All lives matter. Blue lives matter. None of that. We don't want no controversy stuff." And so they end up letting that go. You know what I'm saying? So the blacks got pissed at me. A lot of people, liberals got pissed at me, like I said, "Oh, this black guy, he could be a black guy, and he stopped the Black Lives Matter stuff." And then they made a complaint. I didn't tell you that. They made a complaint about a year later, and they talking about they was going to boycott the store. They was going to boycott the store because they stopped the Black Lives Matter. So they ended up bringing Black Lives Matter back. And but they said you can wear all lives matter and blue lives matter. So you just can't wear no slogans. So it was crazy. It's crazy over there.
Yeah, I think it's also the hypocrisy that's driving me crazy.
Yes.
The hypocrisy. Like, I
Yep.
just. And they don't see it. They don't see how
No.
hypocritical they're being.
Yeah.
You know, this just self-righteousness is just.
Yep.
Is just out of. And, you know, like, it's weird, like, I've seen this pretty much every interview. I don't consider myself a full conservative. You kind of have to ask me what my policies, where I stand. But, and it's really weird to be on this side because, as you know, as every person that I've talked to during this series, we're told that Republicans aren't really for black people, they're for rich people. This is a lie that we've been told the whole time. And I remember even asking my mom that, and my mom was like, when as a kid, and I was asking what's the difference, and that's what she told me. And I was like, okay, well, we're not rich, so I guess we're Democrats. You know, we're for that.
Yes.
But just the community, the sanity seems like it's a little bit, you know, it's safer over here because you can't even be in the middle. You have to be on that side, or you just get pushed over. You know, like I'm over here by default. You know, and a lot of the stuff that, you know, conservative values do make sense to me. You know,
Yep, it does.
It was interesting. My last boyfriend, he was really pro-life, and he's not like, he wasn't conservative. He doesn't consider himself. I guess he considers himself libertarian, I guess. But he was the one that kind of woke me up to all that stuff too, and I just never thought about it. You know, like I never he would put these photos on his wall with like late term pregnancy, and he put this one photo with this baby and showing how they go in with the tongs and basically just rip the baby apart. It was just like the most horrible thing I've ever seen, and I just never like thought about it. And I think a lot of people they think that like you know, first of all, too, with the whole left and their idea of abortion, they just say, oh, it's just a clump of cells. So people have this idea in their head, it's a clump of cells, and they don't make the connection that's another human being, you know? And anyway, I think, long story short, I think we just do a lot of these things, and we have been for a long time without just really thinking about it. This is what you do. This is how you vote. This is how you think.
Right. We didn't think. We didn't wake up. We were just like, you know. And then now we look like, I can't believe I didn't pay attention. We can't believe we didn't pay attention. It's like, oh wow, I can rewind the time. But you know what? It's good. Sometimes it's good that happened. You know, because it's a time and place for everything, and we came in at the right time. We here on this platform at the right time. We here at the right time. Things are meant to happen. You know, so I'm happy that we are aboard. That we have woken up. That we have paid attention now. You know, so it's good that we went through the brainwash. I'm always saying I'm grateful that I went through the brainwash because
you're grateful. Yeah, you are. You know, you can be, you know, grateful for that for sure, because I look at the other side too, and they're living in fear, and they're just like they're mostly miserable. You know, miserable, depressed. You know, I'm not saying I don't get depressed. I'm not saying I have my days where I don't feel good, but for the most part, like they're not really. I don't know, just seemingly stable people that are like that hardcore, especially, you know, even, you know, you can take this metaphor and apply it even when you're dating somebody, right? If you're dating somebody and you're trying to like control them and make them, it's kind of like the same thing. You're the person that's doing the controlling, someone that's unhappy, You know, so it's
Hmm.
kind of like the same thing. They're trying to control us. They're kind of tell us what to do.
Truth, truth, truth. Same thing. In a bad relationship. And just want to control you. You can't leave them. You can't leave them. They want to. No, I mean, it's a lot of stuff with them,
Yeah,
and it's stronger than ever right now. It's more. It's going on more than ever. I
yeah.
mean, more than ever. I had a person. I had a family member told me, if you think like this, you against me. I'm done with you. And dead
Oh,
serious. Ain't talked to me in 2 years.
oh. My cousin called my brother, trying to get in touch with my mom because she was worried about my mental stability. And at that
Ah,
time, I wasn't even like, I didn't even say at the time I supported Trump. I was still kind of trying to figure out what happened with the election and how much the media was lying. So I was just posting stuff on my wall showing how much the media was lying
yes.
about him. Not even saying like, oh, I support. Like I didn't really look into his policies or any of that stuff.
Yep.
But I was just like,
Uh-huh.
oh my god, because I went after I wanted to watch the inauguration. Right, so of
Okay.
course I know a lot of people on the left didn't watch it. They just watched the fact that CNN took pictures of the early morning when people were getting in, and and I knew that. So I was just like, wait, this is a lie. Like these pictures are from the early morning of the inauguration. Now, if you didn't watch it from beginning to end, you wouldn't know that. And then you just watch CNN and be like, oh, look, nobody showed up. Ha 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 ha.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, huh?
They troll. CNN was trolling.
And they've always been trolling. They've always been trolling.
Yeah, always.
Always. Not they're just getting more exposed now, but they've
Yeah.
always been trolling. It's fun. Now the more that I know, I mean, like I've been a truther since I was around 2010, 2011. So a lot of this stuff hasn't shocked me as much because I've had other incidences that made me realize that the media lies and not everything is
Yep.
what it seems. But this election has also just taken my consciousness to another level. Just like,
Word.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about natural hair because we were talking about a little
Oh,
bit of like. So how have you always been natural? I mean, dreads. Most guys are natural, right?
uh,
Did you ever straighten your hair or conk it or do like jerry curls or any of that stuff?
only time I had a Jerry curl when I was like 11 or 12 years old or something, and I remember as a little kid, I remember I had my first baby. I had my first baby. I see everybody had their baby, and I looked and I said, oh, I hear people say that baby got some good hair, and I'm
Yeah.
looking like, huh? And I kept looking at the good hair, and as I hear this, oh, you got that bad hair. My hair is so hard to comb. My mama combed my hair so much that it started hurting. I started crying and stuff,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was thinking it was bad hair. And so as I got older, when people saying good hair, and I said, what you mean good hair? So you trying to say black people got bad hair? The kinky hair is bad hair? I mean, it's all hair is good. I mean, why does hair got to be bad? And so I love natural. I've always wanted, ever since, because when I was a little kid, my mama didn't want me to have dreadlocks. I said, you ain't getting that nasty stuff in your head. I was fascinated with Whoopi Goldberg's hair, not her, but I was fascinated with her hair,
Yeah. Oh,
and
really?
Polly hair, and I was love. I want to get some dreads when I get grown. So when I got grown, I got me some dreads.
But her
I got to be
dreads
like,
are gross. I don't like her dreads. They're like good dreads. Okay, maybe you might not agree with this, but I think that they're good dreads. I think it was a mosquito or something. They're like good dreads and bad dreads. Like those dreads that like are unorganized and then like looks like
I know
somebody
what you're talking about with the plaits
stepped
and
on. They look like somebody stepped on a few of them and they're just you know. But I don't know. Like I wasn't into her dreads. I like Bob Marley's dreads. His dreads are cool. My cousin had like really nice sister locks. She looked gorgeous with
okay,
them. We were like into our own little zone. So for those of you guys that aren't watching, sister locks are like dreads, but they're like really thin. They're like this thin, right? I'm just trying to give people an idea. So if you see people, they're called sister locks, and they're pretty thin, and a lot of times they're done with like a crochet needle or something,
yep,
and and I think it took my cousin like a couple of days to get them done initially. She had to go back
wow,
and
yeah,
had it done because it takes a long time. Like it's really probably
hmm,
about 10 strands of hair for each sister lock, something like that. So she had the most gorgeous sister lock. It looked like flowing yarn, and it just looks so great on her. So I kind of considered that. I know you can't wash your hair for a while because before they have to lock, and that kind of bothers me. And I like to swim,
yeah,
so But I love my fro. But I've only been
Hey,
natural for like 3 years, 4 years, going on 4 years. So before that, I didn't like I was scared to um, go natural. I just didn't know how to deal with my hair. I didn't know how to do my hair.
right.
You know what I mean? And thank God there's a really big natural YouTube community. Honestly, with between that and I had three of my close friends were natural. So one of my best friends is a black guy. He has a beautiful big fro. And then
Okay.
another one of my friends, Natalie, she had gorgeous like afro hair. My other friend Ngozi, they all had like beautiful, just natural hair. So I would ask them
Mhm.
questions and stuff. And then on top of that, there would be people on YouTube that would show you how to do things with your hair and how to take care of your hair. And because
Yeah.
I mean, we're just taught like,
Right.
in our community, just slap a perm on it and just be done.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
but my parents didn't like the good hair, bad hair thing either. And I didn't start going to school around a lot of black people until like junior high. So my first year was around Asian and Latino people. So it wasn't even like a big deal. And my mom would like just put it up in pigtails or whatever. And then, when I start getting to junior high, because I didn't get a perm though I got a perm pretty late. That was about 14.
Okay.
So that's late. Because a lot of people,
Uh-huh.
if you don't know, they slap perms on their kids' head like at 5 years old. Right?
Oh man.
Yeah, I
The
would say about
burn your scalp.
yeah, but like 4 or 5 years old, yeah. But I'm just saying, like that's how, um, that's just kind of like the culture, or get a press and stuff. I didn't start pressing. My mom just started pressing my hair until I was 10. Like none of that stuff. So all that I was kind of late on that stuff anyway. But when I
Okay.
got to junior high, I got made for more so for black people because my hair wasn't straight enough. By other
Yeah.
black people because I didn't have good hair. My hair still wasn't good enough, even though it was straightened because it wasn't naturally that way.
Right.
So my parents, though, I came home with that one time, and they're like, I better never ever hear you say that again. So I wasn't even allowed to say that or pretty eyes or all that stuff.
Yeah, pretty eyes, and we
Yeah.
all like,
Mm-hmm.
we all got beauty in us, we all beautiful,
Beauty's in the eye beholder, and they're so. I love, I love the fact that human beings look so different.
Yes,
It's
yes.
really cool. Like different skin tones, different eye colors, different hair textures, different, you know, um,
Freckles, yes. Stand up.
freckles. Yeah, my grandmother, I was teaching you. I don't know if I was making ginger jokes when I first. I hope I didn't offend you. My grandmother was
I'm a
really,
ginger. I love it.
you're black ginger. But now I used to say, because April, my friend that runs a channel with me, she's not really doing videos right now. She's focusing on her family, but she's a ginger, and I always tease. I was
Skinny
like,
ginger.
gingers are the black people of the white race. That's what I would say.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But now, what do you do? Who are you if you're a black ginger? You know what I mean? Like, what do you? I don't know. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, freckles and red hair
Yeah.
and blonde hair, and like,
As a kid, I got teased about my freckles by black people. Look, they're looking like this. Ugh, I never seen a black dude with freckles. You ain't black. You white. Look at you. Then we got bused to a white school where mixed. The white people was feeling me. Like, oh, I love your freckles. I
I
love you.
love
The
freckles.
black was like teasing me. I mean, really teasing me. That I got older, I learned how to roast on people, and so I know how to give it back. So I took it very well. That's why I'm so aggressive. I know how to roast on people.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I hurt their
That helps.
feelings.
I was bullied a lot too. Like I had a lazy eye. I had that fixed. I had braces. I had the headgear, dude. You even know.
Oh,
They would
snap.
call me La RoboCop.
Hey.
La RoboCop. So like I would get in physical fights. I would have to learn how to psychologically and verbally defend myself. So now like these trolls and stuff, all these people, like it's
Yep.
nothing. I'm not even like. I mean, you want people to say nice things to you. You want people to write nice stuff to you, but I don't get butthurt like most people do. And so, getting back to that, what are your thoughts on bullying and how
Oh,
people are trying to like talk to bullies and tell bullies not to bully people?
you know what? Tell bullies not to bully people. Like, oh wow. I'm just saying. Get out your feelings. It's a different way of not bullying people. You can bully people in another way. Try to bully people into silence. And
Mm.
like the liberal left media, they bully you into a different way. They
Yeah.
have their hidden agenda how they bully you. But other ways, words out there. Oh, you bullying? No, no, no. You know what? We ain't got time for these words out here, man. We got time to make everything better out here. We got time to just build our country up. We got time to build our communities up. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we can't let words take us too much. That kind of
Yeah.
bullying, but bullying comes in a different way over here.
Yeah, yeah. Not even
You know,
physical, right? Yeah.
yes, it's not even physical.
But the thing, my thing is too, when they have these bullying campaigns, I don't know if they still have them now, to like try and stop bullying in schools. I was like, no bully's ever gonna watch those commercials and be like, oh my god, I am bullying people. I better stop because it's not
Yeah,
nice. And the thing about that is too, if you don't teach your kids how to stand up for themselves, they're gonna be adults that don't know how to stand up for themselves, because there's always adult
yeah,
bullies. Like, it's people are gonna sniff that stuff out. They're still gonna sniff out weaker people to pick on.
yeah.
And it's never going
Mhm.
to go away until that person learns a lesson of being able to stand up for themselves.
Stand up for themselves, yes. And like I go back to what we just said. I became a great roaster. I know to roast on people to a point they want to fight me after school. Like, you said this about me. I make them cry.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it was just your words.
that's the best you can have with my freckle. That's the best you can have. I know what's going on. They're like, oh, I'm fighting you after school. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's how I handle it. And I'm
And
speaking on
then after that, you
I
got to
bring
learn
this
how
to
to,
this,
huh?
yeah, bring this to this movement. And that's what we do, you know what I'm saying? Same way we over here, we get under people's skins. We
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I'm saying?
totally. Totally.
Yeah, we giving truth to them, Same way.
Yeah, and it's always like we don't instigate stuff. Like, they start it, but we finish it. That's how it is, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Have you ever seen that movie Roxanne with Steve Martin?
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a minute. I
Okay,
know what you're talking
but
about.
you remember,
Yeah.
like, when you said about your freckles, it reminded me. I guess he's in a bar and he has this big old nose, and then the guy's like, "Hey, move out of my way, big nose," and he's like, yeah, you have this, and all you can come up with is big nose, right?"
Right.
And then he does a thing where he's like, "I can bet you I can come up with better stuff than that, like dumbass. Like, you're not even, like, that's not even an
Yeah.
insult." And then he throws like a dart, and he had to come up with whatever number he hit was the amount of insults he had to come up with for his own nose. So he throws a dart and it hits like 20. So he said, "Come up with like 20 insults for his own nose." You should like watch it. Maybe you can like even type. You can probably find that scene just on YouTube somewhere.
Okay, okay.
But he does that, and it's the greatest stuff ever. And then the guy gets so mad because he made him look dumb just by his words intellectually.
Yeah.
So he tries to he tries to hit him, he tries to punch him. But because
Uh-huh.
he's been in so many fights already, he knows how to fight as well too. So he beats the crap out of the guy, like, in the bar. It's like the best.
Hmm.
It's the best,
Yeah.
like, ever. I think that
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
go ahead, go ahead. This is like it made me listen. I'm listening like,
I
wow.
know, but
It make,
I'll take over again, and it's just like, I have a guest. I have a guest.
no, 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 no,
you
no,
know,
no. I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening to
but
you. I love listening to you. I'm just thinking about the Roxanne. It brings me back how you know how these people don't feel good about themselves when they try to bully you, when they talk about you. They really don't have to.
yeah,
That's why you got bullies that's this big, bullying little kids because they don't feel like accepted with people that's their size or in their age group. So they go ahead and bully the younger people, and they
yeah,
bully people that they think is not smart. You heard what I said? Think it's not smart. That they
yeah,
think it's not smarter than them, but they're really. I mean, they're really not. They don't feel good about themselves. I mean, bullying is real deep, man. Bullying is more it's mental. Bullies have a mental illness.
yeah. I see what you're saying. It's like a Oh, what am I? I know what you're saying. It's like
Right,
a
right, right.
psychological, like trauma or something that they're trying to like
Yeah,
work through. Have you
yeah.
seen Have you seen Cobra Kai? Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
I, I
Cobra
I've been
Kai.
I've been thinking about making a video talking about that as well. Cobra
Okay.
Kai, shame to say, it's on YouTube, so it's only on YouTube Red. I did the free month trial so I can see it, but it is. Do you ever see The Karate Kid?
Yes, love that movie.
Oh, I think you might like Cobra Kai. So,
Okay.
so what it is, it's a TV show. It has all the original characters from The Karate Kid except for Mr. Miyagi because he's dead. It's in the future, so they're both like in their 40s, And Johnny, remember Johnny, the blonde guy that bullied him?
Yeah.
It's told from Johnny's point of view. So Johnny now, because he's like, ever since I guess that day that like Daniel beat him, like the rest of his life, he's just kind of like, I guess he kind of learned his lesson, and then he's become an alcoholic, and he's like this loser and stuff like that. But then it gets flipped because now Daniel he's kind of like the bad guy because now he's kind of become cocky and arrogant and like a goody two shoes, and Johnny is like the now he's the hero, basically.
Okay.
So now so then on Johnny, incident happens, he starts training a bunch of kids, and they talk about the bullying. It's really about bullying. There's a lot of really good layers on it. It's about bullying. It's about the relationship between sons and fathers and men.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that dynamic is going on. And then they also the kids that they pick for this is like the greatest, cutest little like teenagers, like the most adorable
I want to
kids.
see that.
Yeah, I know. I was like, and if you're a Karate Kid fan, they use
Big
flashbacks
fan.
from the movies, and they put in all these little jokes, all these little Easter eggs. So you're just like, oh, like, yeah, I think you will like it.
I'm definitely going to check that out. I mean, I used to watch Karate Kid back to back when I was a child.
Every day. You can watch
3.
You can watch like the first 2 episodes for free, I think, and then the rest, and they're about 30 minutes a piece. So it's
Okay.
like you can watch. It's about 5 hours to watch. It's like 10 episodes. Sorry,
Sound like The Exorcist.
Huh?
Sound like The Exorcist.
I know I had something in my throat. I thought I was gonna have to mute it and get it like a noogie out or something. I didn't know. But anyway, it's really good, and you know what? I'm pretty sure the people that wrote it are patriots because there's always an American flag somewhere in the back of the episode.
Okay.
And they both, like, I think Johnny has one in his house, and then Daniel owns a car dealership, so every day he's raising the flag in front of his car dealership. And,
Okay.
yeah. And they kind of make reference to some of the PC stuff going on in the leftist. It's really, really good. I'm really impressed.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely going to check that out. I mean, seriously, I am. I'm like, oh, man, I'm a Karate Kid head.
Did you watch part 2?
Part 2, part 3, the next Karate Kid.
the remake with Will Smith and
The remake.
Jaden.
I like it. It's all right.
Yeah, it's just weird because you know the first one.
School.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was all right, but yeah, it was. It wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It was just, if you know the first one, it's not as as epic, you know. And
Yes.
I remember like when he's like, "Hey man, I just been doing your chores all day. You ain't teaching me no karate." And he's like, "Wax on." He's like, "What's on?" And it was like, "Woo!" Like, like, "Whoa!" Like he's like, "Wax on, wax on!" So, oh,
Yeah.
like.
How do you have a ghetto black woman move in China?
Oh, me?
No, the ghetto black woman moved to China in the new Karate Kid remake.
Oh, well,
The
I mean,
ghetto-
I lived in Taiwan for 2 years. So.
No, I'm talking about that hood chick. What's her name? She played on the
Taraji.
Yeah.
Taraji
She
Vincent,
go all the way
she's
down. I'm
fine.
like, shit, I felt she don't even fit in China. She doesn't even fit like out of all characters.
Yeah, to go there. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They're black people. My friend, he's black. He lived in China for 2 years. He has a lot of interesting stories. I might interview him. He's just so busy. But he lived in China for 2 years with his wife. She's black. Ghetto.
Okay.
Yes, ghetto. So I have a friend that one of my friends I grew up with has another friend who's black, who's ghetto, you know, stereotypically speaking, who moved to China.
Uh-huh.
He moved to China to get away from gangs. He was in a gang and he wanted to get out.
Yeah.
And, you know, like a lot of times when you're in a gang, you can't get out. It's like a cult, right? If you want to get out, they either have to beat the crap out of you, and then if you survive it, you can leave, or they'll just kill you if you try and leave. You know?
Yeah.
Huh?
I grew up in Chicago. I've been there.
Yeah, so he wanted out of the gangs, and he had a connection, and he moved to China, and he lives in China, like illegally, and he speaks like fluent Chinese. It's crazy. Yeah.
I ain't even mad at her. I ain't mad at her.
Yeah, I know. That's really like, yeah. Yeah, I mean he hooked up with other gangsters there. Like he's like,
Hey,
but still, like,
follow me where you go.
yeah, I mean, like, but he's fluent and and
OG
he's lived
status.
there for like years. Yeah, it's crazy. So I mean, and like I said, I always talk about this because I love this is one of the best things I've ever done. But I lived in Taiwan for 2 years. I'm actually learning Mandarin, and then
Okay.
I've known
Yeah.
other Black people that live in China, been in China. So
All
it's
right.
common. It's weird. You stick out like a flying buttermilk. But there's a singer named he's African, called Hauge. They call him, which just means how is good and Ge singer, and he sounds like Luther Vandross, but he sings in Chinese. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Wow.
can probably even
Hey.
like Google like Black man China
Okay.
sings or Hauge, and you can be
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's crazy. Sorry, I just had to like you're making jokes, but I got all serious about the whole Black and Chinese.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What are you drinking?
What I'm drinking some coffee.
Oh, I'm drinking water. And nothing
Oh,
exciting. I'm trying to get my
good
water
stuff.
intake in for today. So, so you live in. Can I say where you live? Are you comfortable with
Yeah, you
that?
can say.
Okay, so you live in Wisconsin.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so are you from Wisconsin?
No, I was born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. Born and raised. When I say born and raised, born and raised. Got a
Oh, okay.
hard life out there. I'm about an hour and a half from Chicago, so I'm still close to Chicago.
So when did you move?
I moved like 20 years ago, and then I ended up moving back to Chicago 9 years ago. I mean, 10 years ago. Then I ended up coming back up here. Went through a back and forth transition, But when I was in Chicago, I had a rough life down there. I was gang banging down there. I was in the gang down
Oh,
there.
wow.
And locked up 17 times. And
17 times? Like,
seven. That was a bad.
is
I was
that,
a
how
bad
is
kid.
that 17 times?
Yep, locked up 17 times. Most of them was misdemeanors, but I was locked up for possession of controlled substance. I was into that organized crime down in Chicago, and I decided to one day, with the last straw when I left Chicago, I threw up a gang sign, and when I threw up a gang sign at an opposition gang, it was a Latino gang, and they started shooting at me, and they missed me, and hit an innocent dude in the head that was coming from work and killed him right there.
Oh, man.
And that was my turning point in my life. That was my turning
Oh, man.
point in life, and I went to Wisconsin and went and started working, kept me a job, and turned my life around. I got tired.
Oh, man. Like, that must be devastating. I mean, oh, man.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just felt that a little bit,
no, it
like,
is. But sometimes I look at it. What things happen for a reason. But that's why I do. What I'm saying, sometimes I do go to troubled schools still and talk to troubled children, and I go to group homes to talk to people. I even
yeah.
been to prison to talk to people. And I've been around the street outreaches and stuff. So I, my platform, I tell people, my platform is not political. Yes, it's around political people, but it's really not political. I'm here to reach the inner cities. I bring my conservative views to the inner city and talk to them. I take my camera all day. Sometimes I go to Chicago and I go in the rural neighborhood and talk to them. And they really don't hate Trump. They don't even pay attention to politics out there.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
you know, things happen. Things happen for a reason. I'm not saying it's good the guy got shot in the head, but it
No,
turned
but
out.
I mean, yeah, things happen for a reason. I know exactly what you mean. And at the end, it's still all you because you still could have made the decision to keep gangbanging or, a lot of people
Yeah,
try and numb themselves by doing hard drugs to like forget about it and stuff, but you chose to like change. So,
yeah.
that was a blessing in a sense too. No, not trying to, like I said, saying
I
that.
know, I know.
Yeah,
Right.
but like wow. I think that I grew up in South Central, and when I
Okay.
first, I don't know if you're familiar with LA. So first 8 years was Koreatown, and then we were about 8. We moved to South Central by USC area. So
Okay.
the area, I don't know. You hear about South Central. There are pockets that are more dangerous than others. And the first year we moved over in that area, it was kind of
Yeah.
dangerous. A kid that I not grew up with, but I played with in the neighborhood, like got shot in a drive-by in the crossfire around the corner. And then my
Yeah.
parents were like freaking out. And as a kid, you're thinking like, oh, like, um, oh, if I see somebody drive up, I'll just run. Like, they won't get me, blah, blah, blah. But my parents were super strict. I lucked out in the sense that, like, pretty soon after that, a lot of the campus started buying up property and gentrifying the neighborhood, so it became less violent. But the junior high I went to was really violent and really
Mm.
crazy because I still went to school, but the neighborhood where I grew up. So I feel like there's a part of me, and I went back and I worked for LAUSD for 8 years, and I taught in
Okay.
South Central. And I feel like I had a connection with the kids, but like the trouble kids,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I can only get so far because I haven't been to jail. I haven't been to prison. So, you know what I mean? Even for me to be like, oh, like, don't go to jail, kids. Like, they're going to be like, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you never gangbanged. You don't know what it's like. So I feel like somebody like you is good that you can go back and talk to people. That's what I'm trying to say. I think they'll take you more seriously than they would me, someone like me,
Yes,
because you
yes,
can
yeah.
relate to them, honestly, huh?
Yes, and then I could say no. It depends. It depends. Yes, a lot of them would, but then a lot of them, like when I go to these schools, they still look at me like they won't look at me and feel like Like, come here. They still get a little get a little sassy and do all this, and I tell people like even if you ain't been in the street game, you know what I'm saying? But you still have a testimony, and you can still witness to people by your testimony. You can still help people by your testimony because you still alive. That could have been you,
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
and I always say that it could have been you. You know what I'm saying? Either it could have been you or it ain't you. You know what I'm saying? You can still be that voice. What I'm saying to talk to these troubled children, and because you do know what's going on. You see what's going on. You got people in your family. You know what I'm saying that been through it. I mean, I mean, you could have taken that wrong route, and you didn't take that wrong route, and that's a big testimony right there.
Yeah, but I just feel like it's just be like goody goody. Like they're like so like and I don't talk black enough, so that's another issue. I mean, I feel like yeah, some people I have, and I think that I've had connections with children over the years and I've taught after that too. I've taught kids of all races,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
feel like I just want to be honest about that though too. Like I can't like say that I
Mm,
know what that feels like. So if I'm in that
okay.
situation, I can be like, well, I know what the right thing to do is, but I have a very objective point of view about it. I can't be
Right.
like, I know what it feels like to go to jail. I know what
Right.
it
Right.
feels
Right.
like to be in a gang. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I'm
Yes.
not gonna pretend like I'm not gonna be like fucking Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and be like, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
and as long as I show the kids respect. I don't treat children like they're stupid. I don't let them
Yeah.
walk all over me, either. You got to have that balance, between doing that. I've been pretty successful. I have a whole issue with the system within itself. That's a whole nother video.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that's really cool that you do that. Has anybody ever come back to you and told you that that whatever you said or has made them think differently or changed their life in some way?
Yeah. 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 I had people come back to me, and uh, I won't say this guy's name. I talked to a guy, an active guy. He's an active gang leader from our old neighborhood. He's an active gang leader, and I see him on Facebook. We talk, we video chatted. I actually want to have him on my show, but he's always on house arrest and always on stuff, But
What if he's on
he
house arrest? He can't do Skype or nothing.
no, he just be doing. He be on something else. He be on something. He
Okay,
also on house arrest. He's in prison, and
okay, okay.
and he never answer his phone when he on. It's hard to reach him.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm getting on. And he be on something. Then he end up getting locked up. He's still in the game, but he really looks up to me. This dude really looks up to me. He talked to me, and look, he updated his status. Said if I wasn't a felon, I'd vote for Trump. And he actually want me to go down there and talk to the rest of the gang members that's under him,
Oh
trying
wow.
to talk knowledge into him, because I want to tell him, like, even though we was gangbang back then, we didn't go and shoot little 7-year-olds and 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
We wasn't, we was more structured than you was. We had more manners, not condoning and said we was right what we did. I
Yeah.
want to at least put some knowledge into the gangbangers, because if you try to tell them to leave the gang, they're not going to listen. They're not going to
Yeah.
listen. But the guy, he's a gang leader. He reaches out to me. We talk, But then after that, I don't talk to him for months. But he'll like reach back out to me and talk.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good sign. You know.
No, it is, and you know he wants to change. I think, like, I have friends that have been in jail and stuff. And it's like also the way the system is set up. It's set up
Yeah.
to keep people enslaved. So people that really
Yeah.
want to turn their lives around, it's really hard. So if you have a felony,
Mm.
you can't vote. You can't. It's hard to get an apartment. It's hard to get a decent job. You know.
Mm.
So how do you reach out to these people? And you know, this is something I've never heard people. I haven't heard people bring up yet, but I've been thinking about this, and I know I probably need to do a little bit more research. But a lot of the immigrants that are coming in are also taking jobs away from people,
Yes.
felons that want to change, that maybe can't get a decent job, but they can get, you know, jobs in agriculture and all these lower wage jobs that they're paying immigrants, illegal immigrants, I should say, illegal immigrants that are coming in. And I think that has an effect on society as well. Because I think that, you know, it's interesting. I know, Whole Foods, for instance, they have artesian cheeses and they're made by prisoners. There are a lot of skills that prisoners have learned that they can integrate back into society.
Yes.
And they're really good at. And I came across something too. I haven't been able to confirm this since then, but that also a lot of Whole Foods produce is grown by prisoners. And I was really impressed by that because
Wow.
they have some of the most beautiful produce I've ever seen in my life. I feel like I'm walking into the Garden of Eden. So it's like if they, you know what I mean, if they have these skills that they're learning in prison and they can implement back into society, you know, step one is to get them working, right? So we get them a job so they can work. And then maybe step two would get them to understand how to run a business and, you know, maybe further down the